Cloudcast Media.
Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
And hello to you. Thank you for being part of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community. I'm Dave Mason, and for Drew, the show has been around for, over 16 years, and we appreciate what Drew does. Sometimes he takes some time off, which is the reason that I'm here today. And we're in the Mission Fed studios today with very special guests, Cheryl Goddard, Executive Director, Joseph Rivera, Conservation Manager, and Kim Rogers, Community Engagement Manager of, we're talking the San Dieguito, let me see if I can get this right, San Dieguito River Valley Conservancy.
Correct.
You got it.
Can you say that 4 times real fast?
You get used to it. It's definitely a tongue twister.
Can somebody tell me, what does San Dieguito mean?
So the San Dieguito is the watershed that runs through from Del Mar all the way up to Julian. There is a river that runs throughout the entire canyon, and just some little education is that a watershed is basically a valley where all the water collects collectively through rain, when it, rarely when it snows. I guess it snows now.
Yeah.
And it travels down through the valley and then exits to the ocean.
Now, we do events at Del Mar's Dog Beach. Is that San Dieguito?
Yes. So that the Dog Beach, that specific location, is actually where the freshwater meets the saltwater.
Okay.
And then you travel a little bit more inland, and that's where the San Dieguito Lagoon is located, where a lot of restoration in the years past was taking place.
But it goes all the way to Julian.
All the way to Julian. Yep.
That's amazing. Let me find out from each of our members, our guests today, how we got involved in this. Let's start with you, Kim.
Well, I am brand new to the Conservancy. I'm about a month in, maybe just over a month in. I got involved just because I happened to send my resume and cover letter off to the right lady. So, but I've been an avid hiker all my life and didn't realize that all of these trails that I grew up hiking on and photographing ended up, being an area that I would love to get involved and protect, and ended up having a career found for me. So it worked out perfectly.
Well, and Cheryl?
Hi, good morning. My background is in land use environmental planning, and I've worked in local government for my entire career until I've come to the Conservancy. My first nonprofit job, I'm at a point in my life and in my career where I was able to choose something that I actually feel fulfillment in. The Conservancy is great. It started from just people who didn't have to come together, didn't have to preserve, didn't have to try and find financial means to make the Conservancy work. And it's really nice to be a part of this group. Everybody has been so great and welcoming. Like Kim, I'm fairly new. I've been in for about 10 months now and have loved every moment of it.
Amazing. And Joseph?
Yeah, I am actually not a San Diego native. I was born and raised in Los Angeles and came over to finish my undergrad at UCSD. And I connected with the Conservancy doing a research project as an intern. And I was an intern for them for about a year and a half, and then started off volunteering with some invasive species removal, and then came back as a full-fledged Conservancy staff member. And the work we do here with the community is really what I enjoy doing the most, teaching them about the watershed and its importance and all the ecological services that it provides. And especially when families and children get their hands dirty and kind of get ownership of planting a plant is really what I enjoy most in this job.
See, these are things that really a lot of us do not think about in our everyday life. And yet there are people such as yourselves who get involved in this and make things really important. The environment is obviously it's a topic that people talk about all the time, but there are things that we talk about gasoline, we talk about natural gas, we talk about solar, but when you stop and you think about something such as a watershed, which to my mind is a river, Am I right or am I way off?
You're pretty on the point there. It is a river, but it's a collective. So it's a river and all the components that feeds that river. So the river that runs through a valley and all the water that comes from rain and snow and everything that groundwater too, or runoff as well. So all the components that has to do with water goes into the river and connects to the ocean.
With the moisture situation in California that has changed a whole lot. I've been here for 23 years, and I've never experienced rain like this. Is it a benefit to the watershed?
100%. We go on hikes regularly, and you can see the greenery that usually takes years and years to develop. And now we're having super blooms in a lot of the areas, and the environment has just soaked up a lot of the water that is desperately needed. I don't know if you had a chance to take a look at the California drought maps.
Yes.
California, the drought has significantly decreased,
yes.
And the watershed has a great capacity to absorb as much water as it can because of how much open green area that there is.
And I think that's one of the discussions that we've had with people is to, okay, we have all this rain, how do we collect it?
Water conservation is a big thing.
Yeah.
That one of our programs, our Next to Nature programs, kind of teaches that as well. Water conservation, fire hazard, wildfire safety, teaching homeowners these kind of simple techniques that they can do in their own backyard to become more sustainable, save energy, save money, and contribute more to the surrounding habitat.
I may want to talk to you about this. I'm also part of the Scripps Ranch Fire Safe Council. As we all know, Scripps Ranch has been affected by wildfires. And now that the situation with all the rain, things are going to grow. Things are going to grow, they're going to grow. Yet, and when we get into another drought situation, things will dry out and it'll become more fuel for fires. And how do wildfires affect places like the San Dieguito watershed?
Yeah, I mean, after heavy rainfalls like this, not only native plants grow, which our native plants are designed and for wildfire resistance, but weeds also grow and invasive plants also grow. And when they dry up, like arundo is a species that's like a tall grass that can go up to 30 feet tall. And when they dry up, it's basically a match to a fire. And there's a lot of areas that have these invasive species. So a lot of the restoration work that we do in neighboring communities like Fairbanks Ranch and Rancho Santa Fe specifically, that's a project that's been going on for about 8 years now, is to remove those invasive species, introduce native species, all to basically reduce the risk of fire. Because there's, as you mentioned, in years past, there's been a lot of fires that have traveled through.
Right.
And those invasive species basically make it more prone to burning. And like eucalyptus, carry embers through the canyon miles and miles further than what they normally would.
So we do want to put in a plug because of the invasives that grow with all the rainfall. Is we work jointly in partnership with the San Dieguito River Park JPA, who have their rangers and staff to help maintain the trails and to pull some of these invasives. So we're always open for volunteers, for groups of volunteers to come out and help with the invasive removals along the trail. That's
Cheryl Goddard speaking, by the way, in case you can't see the face. And Kim Rogers is also here. And Joseph Rivera, conservation manager. We're talking with people from the San Dieguito River Valley Conservancy here on Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community. I'm Dave Mason for Drew. We're in the Mission Fed studios, and we're brought to you by Mission Federal Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. And we're here on Cloudcast Media. And we're learning. A lot of people do not know about all of we have the Pacific Ocean here. Well, there's a whole lot more than just the Pacific Ocean. And Joseph, as you mentioned, the San Dieguito is really where the salt water meets fresh water. Now, the water flows toward Julian? Is that how that works? Or it flows from Julian?
From Julian.
From Julian.
So Julian is the headwaters of our watershed. So there's a natural spring there that produces fresh water, travels down, collects, and it's a combination of rainfall and groundwater and urban runoff, and then travels down to the lagoon, where they've created certain areas where that water can be filtered out, and then it connects to the ocean.
I got it now. All right. Cheryl, the Coast to Crest Get to 71 campaign. Can you explain that?
Yes, very exciting. So the Coast to Crest Trail is a 71-mile trail system. It's planned. We have 49 miles of trails open to the public. Our 50th mile is set to open in a year or so. But we have some gaps in that 71-mile trail system. So the longest gaps are in the inland area, and there's 2 trail gaps from East San Pasqual Valley to Bowdoin Canyon and from Lake Sutherland to Santa Isabel West. And we set out about 10 months ago to raise $2 million to help with the first phase of these trail gaps. And I am so happy to tell you we have raised $2 million in 10 months.
Nice.
So we thank our supporters. We thank everybody who support the vision of the Coast to Crest and the river park. That money is going to be used to do environmental compliance, design, and planning. And after we get to a stage where the environmental is completed, we then go out and look for some public funds, grant funding for construction.
Wow, that's busy.
It is.
That's busy, but that's an incredible accomplishment.
It is.
Very much so.
We love our supporters. There's no way we could even get to the construction point of finding funding without this first stage, without this $2 million.
How did you get the support?
Our members, we went out to them. We've got great people who have supported the Conservancy for the last 37 years. They were part of the vision. They continue to support. They continue to support by spreading the word of what we're trying to do as a conservancy in recreation and education and in conservation.
We're going to find out more about the San Dieguito River Valley Conservancy in just a minute. This is Drew Schlosberg, Spotlight on the Community. It's brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. We're in the Mission Fed studios, and we will be right back.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
This is Drew Schlosberg, Spotlight on the Community. I'm Dave Mason for Drew. We're in the Mission Fed studios today, and we're brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Our guests today are Cheryl Goddard, Executive Director of the San Dieguito River Valley Conservancy, Joseph Rivera, Conservation Manager, and Kim Rogers, Community Engagement Manager. Kim, tell me about the community engagement. What events? I'm guessing that's what you have. You're getting people involved in the whole conservancy.
Absolutely right. So I am the newest member of the San Dieguito River Valley Conservancy, and it's my job to manage the organization's efforts to engage and connect with the local community. So primarily, we're trying to implement strategies to increase public awareness and support for the Conservancy's mission, which is preserving and protecting the San Dieguito River Valley and its natural and cultural resources. So there's a lot of upcoming events that we're going to be talking about here today. We have a couple of educational events that I wanted to highlight. We have this wonderful program called the Watershed Explorers Program, and we have an Escondido chapter. It's also referred to as our Escondido Watershed Explorers Program, and that's an educational program that was desired to inspire and educate Escondido youth. So that's, we want to get them out and teach them the importance of of the watershed and the natural resources. And it offers a range of activities and hands-on interactive things for them to be able to, feel that environmental stewardship and protection. Get there, like Joseph was talking, get your hands dirty, feel that connection to that plant. So whenever you go out, you can point it out. Oh, I planted that plant up on that hill.
Wow.
You have contributed to the growth of the beauty of our watershed. Programs like this, it is going to include a series of field trips, presentations, hands-on activities, and it offers a unique opportunity for Escondido students to experience firsthand the wonders of the natural world and learn about the critical role that the watershed plays in sustaining our planet's ecosystem. So as Joseph was talking, the watershed is the culmination of the rainfall, the snow, the urban runoff. But it's important because, a lot of people know Lake Hodges and Lake Sutherland, and those are man-made reservoirs that we collect this water for our use. So it's very, very important that the students learn that everything is supported by this watershed. Animal life, plant life, us, we also rely on the water that comes out of this watershed. And so the program is made possible thanks to wonderful partnerships that we have. The San Dieguito River Park Joint Powers Authority that Cheryl mentioned earlier, up at our headwaters where that natural spring lets out, the Vulcan Mountain Foundation. We're also partnered with the Escondido Public Library, who helps support. And Surprise Farms, Alon Lau Foundation, the San Dieguito Archaeological Center. And these are all locations that the kids get to travel to as a part of this program to learn about the different areas along the watershed. So this is all thanks to, all of those partners, the Rady Children's Hospital and the State Parks Outdoor Equity Grant, which, was the whole goal for that one was to advance California's Outdoor for All initiative and focus on underserved communities. So that's one of my favorite programs that we have going on. Spring 2023 already underway. If any Escondido residents wanted to learn about this program, we've got a lot of upcoming dates. March 25th, where us, the Conservancy, are going to lead the activities at the Lake Hodges Dam, and explorers are going to learn about the importance of the area and how the watershed's vitality and health, and they get to become citizen scientists, get a little hands-on, do some collecting and collect some valuable data. April 8th, the Headwaters Vulcan Mountain Foundation, they're going to be leading activities from their nature center. And then April 29th, the River Park is going to lead participants on a ranger-led hike around the San Dieguito Lagoon. So you do get to visit all the different spots all throughout the watershed. And, as you're collecting water throughout this program, doing some testing, you can really see how the water is changing from that natural spring way up at our headwaters all the way down to our stormwater collecting treatment ponds down at the lagoon. Now, registration is required, space is limited, but you guys can go to tinyurl.com/explorers2023 or email me. Kim@sdrvc.org. I can give you guys more details on that. We also have another educational program, our speaker series, that is going to be an enlightening event. It's going to focus on conservation and environmental stewardship, and the gathering is going to bring together a diverse group of speakers from various backgrounds, all of whom share a passion for protecting our watershed and preserving its natural beauty and resources. Throughout the event, you'll have the opportunity to hear from experts in their respective fields, each sharing unique perspective and insight on environmental conservation. From wildlife conservationists to sustainability experts, our speakers are going to provide a comprehensive look at the challenges that we face and the steps that we can take to safeguard our future.
Now, here's what amazes me about these organizations that we talk to on the Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community. You are so involved in what you do. When do you take time off, Kim?
Well,
with all you've got planned. Will you get any time off?
It is a very, very big thing that was brought up, having that work-life balance. And I've been told that even attending our monthly yoga session on the weekend does count towards work. But there are certain parts of this job that are so fulfilling to me that is my recharge. Mm-hmm. So on my normal day off, so before I got hired here, my normal day off, I would go and take a hike and be out in nature. And now I get to do that as a part of this program and this work. We've got a couple of trail events that I'd like to talk about coming up later. And those are really, really my passion, getting out and enjoying the greenery and the scenery and just establishing the sense of place. I live here. I have to help protect this place in order to maintain its beauty and its specialness. So
you should meet my son. He's an avid hiker.
Perfect.
And he takes Moose with him. Moose is his dog, of course.
Excellent.
Now, how do things like pets affect the whole the San Dieguito River Valley, really? How does it affect? Are people being really good stewards of taking their pets and cleaning up after them, or are they not?
We have a great group of people that use and utilize the trail systems that we have. They take care of it. They tend to it. They pick up trash along the way as they're hiking. Mm-hmm. And we have events like that are dedicated to, tending to the trails. And we also have, as Cheryl mentioned, a great partnership with the San Dieguito River Park Joint Powers Authority that helps manages those trails. But a lot of these trails, they take ownership in it, like in the Coast to Crest Trail Challenges that we have annually, which is a set of trails that are kind of a challenge. You have to do a set of trails, take selfies, and submit them for a certificate as well as a badge that's created from a local high school. So we try to make it so much more personable and so much more personal than just a trail. And it shows with these hikers and these photos that we receive. These participants, our members, really take ownership and pride in those trails.
Conservation is a very important part of this too, and as we know, any place that humans show up, there's the possibility of having a negative impact, and trying to get people to be really positive is a good thing for you to do. What else are you working on, Joseph?
Well, as I mentioned, we have a couple of restoration projects. One up in Shoulder Creek is a habitat restoration work, and that is located near Lake Henshaw off in Mesa Grande. And that is with the partnership of the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service under their Partners for Fish and Wildlife program, along with the private property owners located up there. Our goal is to restore the native grassland habitat by removal of invasive species. And so that's the top of our watershed. And we like to think of things as a trickle-down effect. So if we take care of invasive species at the top of our watershed, it reduces the amount of invasive species below. And so we're working on removing the tree of heaven that's located up there on some private property owners, as well as Himalayan blackberry. And this is to increase the western pond turtle habitat and the California red-legged frog that are centralized in those areas.
Is that an invasive species?
Those two animal species are native, and the invasive species that was having an impact on them was the American bullfrog. So
that's what I'm trying to get my head around, because you know so much about this, and we just learn. If we see something, go, is that good or bad? We hope it's good.
A big part of these restoration projects is education. So educating the public on what we find there, the animal species, the plant species, and we do these through surveys with biologists, with botanists, with herpetologists, and we have events like Citizen Science Program where we and like the Watershed Explorers, where we teach the community about these impacts, as well as the natives that call those places home. And all of this is through the amazing partnerships that we have. So with like the Rancho Santa Fe Homeowners Association and the Fairbanks Ranch Homeowners Association, U.S. Fish and Wildlife, California Native Plant Society, that partnership is really what built the now going on 8-year project in the Rancho Santa Fe Fairbanks area for the wildfire reduction plan.
Right, nice. Awards. Has the organization been able to achieve awards? And with all you do, there has to be some awards involved in this.
I think our success is shown in our grants that we receive. So we definitely get grants from our corporations around here, REI, SDG&E. We have state and federal grants that we are successful in doing the work and the conservation and the outreach we do. There's been a lot of trust built into the organization and those who came before us. And so we march on.
Nice. That's Cheryl, by the way, speaking. And how have you been affected by the whole pandemic situation that we've experienced?
Well, as we're coming out of the pandemic, we are really seeing that people want to come back outside. I think in that two plus years, people found solace in coming outside, found a centering of themselves to be out in the nature, to really take that time. We had a moment to pause a little bit and run a little slower in our lives, in our daily lives. And so I think people now have a renewed appreciation for the outdoors, and we are seeing it through the events and the outreach programs that we are offering. And Kim only was able to talk about a few of our events. We have a ton more planned for this spring.
Absolutely.
So where do we find these events? They got to be listed somewhere. Your website is?
Our website is sdrvc.org, and a lot of events are also being posted on sources like Eventbrite. We also advertise them on social media, so our Facebook, if you guys follow San Dieguito River Valley Conservancy, or if you go at SDRVC for Instagram, you guys can find all of our ads, all of our promotional event flyers. Everything is on our website too, on how to get involved if you want to get involved in other programs.
So let me ask you this. What would happen without the San Dieguito River Valley Conservancy? What would happen to this whole area? Your thoughts?
Well, San Dieguito River Valley Conservancy started because there was a group of passionate folks who saw what was happening in Mission Valley and all the development that was occurring in the valley to the south. Mm-hmm. And what they did is they came together and conserved the land. So we need to keep the mission going. We need to have people educated about the resources, about watershed protection. We need to provide opportunities for responsible recreation. And we need to move forward with more conservation. We have about 63% of the river park in public ownership. And that's a great start. There's always opportunities for additional open space acquisitions.
You do amazing things. You really do. And these are things that we need to think about as we live here in probably one of the most, I don't know if the word is unusual or if the word, I know it's special. It is a very special part. When I first got here, we visited the tide pools. It's like, whoa, look at this. And then when we do the events at the Del Mar Dog Beach, we see that the San Dieguito River is part of that, and learning more about this now is totally fascinating.
There's a lot of nature to appreciate in San Diego, and because of the founders and creation's mission, the San Dieguito Watershed is the most intact watershed in all of San Diego County, and there's a lot of that has to do with involvement from the community, and we have tons of volunteer opportunities like being hike leaders, being next to nature ambassadors, habitat restoration, getting your hands dirty and planting in restoration sites. If you're interested in being a hike leader and experiencing all our 50-mile trails that we have completed thus far, please contact us. Or if you want to be more involved in education in our Watershed Explorers program, you can volunteer as a docent and as well hike these schools and families in these trails and nature trips and teach them about
well spoken. I wish we had more time to go through this. Again, the website?
sdrvc.org.
And a big thank you to Cheryl Goddard, Executive Director of the San Dieguito River Valley Conservancy, Joseph Rivera, Conservation Manager, and Kim Rogers, Community Engagement Manager, who never sleeps with everything that's going on. Thanks for being part of the Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community on Cloudcast Media, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years in the Mission Fed studios. I'm Dave Mason for Drew today, and thank you for listening.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Cloudcast Media.